I don't know about you, but these days it feels like the world and our lives are moving at hyperspeed. The all-new Nissan Murano is an unapologetic refuge amidst the hustle and bustle. In the Nissan Murano, you can take a beat, catch your breath, and re-energize. With its elevated modern interior and bold new exterior, this vehicle stands out. Its massaging leather-appointed seats melt away the tension of a busy day, adds to that feeling of refuge. Optional features like panoramic moonroof that adds tons of natural light to its roomy cabin, and ambient lighting sets the right vibe. So crucial in dreary winter days. The Bose premium sound system helps you escape further into your favorite music. The Nissan Murano and all its features gives you the greatest rush, while not feeling like you're rushing at all. Find your moment of calm in the all-new Nissan Murano. Drive the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano today. Features listed or available upgrades.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story. So don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. Last time
on Critical Hit.
Coming out of the wall is a giant dog-like creature. He hit you for 7.
Crap. Okay, I got like health left.
Hopefully just imply heavily that this was some sort of satanic ritual killing.
The resistance has learned the magic. You exit the gondola manufacturing area, and you are in the streets of Venice. 2 of you are very, very injured.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we try to head back towards the Resistance HQ and try not to leave a trail of blood leading directly to it.
Well, I think I can do something about the blood, but I don't know if I can specifically use one of my talents, because nobody's really at a point where they're injured, but I think I have something.
Rob
that I
is.
can use. Rob has an injury. Okay.
Yeah,
Rob has an injury. He's got a bullet grazed his cheek, and he's got a wicked scar. He potentially has a wicked scar on his left cheek.
Oh, that's
Lisco's
cool.
holding a handkerchief up to his cheek.
Or what's left of his cheek.
Yeah.
Let
us look up.
I can successfully stabilize an ally.
Yep, why don't you read that?
Medic, when you successfully stabilize an ally, you may spend 2 momentum in order to immediately treat 1 physical injury that an ally has suffered.
Okay. You can certainly use stabilize if you like. If you would like to try and stabilize, is it say remove the injury or just stabilize?
Immediately treat. So I don't know if that means like we've treated it and it's gone.
Okay, I would say that that would add back 1. Add 1 back to your injury pool Rob. So you go from 2 to 3. So if you would like to perform a stabilize action, you may.
So wait. Oh, no, wait. From 2 to 3.
Coordination.
It sounded like
Coordination
I
plus-
was giving him an injury. Okay.
No. Coordination plus medicine D2.
Oh, right. Now, do we have 2 momentum to spend?
Yes,
you do.
We have
Okay.
3.
good.
We actually have 3 momentum if you want to add a die and then just the rest.
Coordination.
He's got
plus
a
medicine is
16. He's got a 16.
Okay.
So
yeah, I would say I've got a pretty good. Hang on, I have to.
I mean,
remember how to do
now
my
that
thing.
you've cursed,
Yeah, now that
cursed
we've
it,
had this conversation, yeah.
You know what? That doesn't work that way for me.
I suppose we'll
now
see.
that you've cursed that conversation,
Nope, doesn't work that way for me. So, if I burned 3 momentum,
you could roll 4 dice.
I could roll 4 dice.
You need to spend 2 momentum to do this at all.
Right.
And we only have 3 momentum. So you can
So 2 momentum. So I could use
2
the extra momentum to get an extra.
2 momentum to do anything at all,
Mhm.
to get this roll at all, and then
Right.
1 momentum to add a 3rd die to your pool.
That would use all the momentum in our bucket. Is that a good idea?
Injuries are actually really difficult.
Serious?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
basically injuries give Steven like a permanent way to increase the difficulty on us.
Right.
And
I
also kill off
understand.
the character, because if Rob's character suffers 3 injuries, he's dead.
Dead. And most importantly, Rob is our ride. Okay, so yes, I will utilize the skill, and I will use that existing momentum to make it 3 D20.
Okay.
And I will get 3 successes.
Very good.
Putting
3 successes.
that monument
You
right
put
back
one,
where it was.
put 1 momentum back. So you are able to stop the bleeding from
have a
Blisco's face.
This is a first aid thing, isn't it?
No,
Yes.
it's not a first aid thing. It's a stabilize.
Well, it is and it isn't.
No, it's a stabilize thing. Stabilize and first aid are different.
Different actions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
First aid is a specific-
Stabilize is not a focus that he could have.
No, stabilize is an action.
Would he rolled low enough that I'm assuming it rolled under whatever his focus would be. And I don't know if this focus would give us an additional momentum, because he would have gotten 4 successes instead
I
of
see
3
what you're saying.
successes.
No, he did not. Let's see. He rolled. He would get one
focuses are
addition. You get 1 additional momentum out of this.
first
cool.
aid and surgery, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get an additional momentum out of that. So you have 2 momentum now,
Oh, nice.
Cool.
And that's because the 4 rolled.
below the 5, which is your medicine.
Okay. Right. So when we're using a focus skill, if you roll, okay. Got it.
If you're doing
Cool.
specifically what the focus is and you roll under, you get another.
You get
success.
bonuses. Cool. Beautiful. Haha. So that means we have 2 momentum in our pool, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Spiffy.
Rob, you can put your stress back up to 3,
Yeah.
but you're going to have you're going to have a scar.
Does that count as an injury or just?
It is just a
Flavor text.
Oh, there's a
on your
scar thing on there.
Yeah, there's truth and scars. Yeah.
Yes. So you have a scar. A wicked scar.
Does that make it a truth?
It does make it a truth for him, yes.
So he can be like sitting on the porch in 90 years and going, kids, when I was in the war, I got this scar.
Yeah, and then he can roll to impress
God.
his kids at a lower.
Right.
And I'm sure you could probably use that as a truth some way. Like if you're in a bar somewhere and you're trying to try to get some information from somebody, you could be like, hey, the truth in this scene is that chicks dig scars. And so that would create a truth, and that could lower the difficulty of a persuasion roll, for example. Or maybe they're looking for, maybe they're on the lookout for somebody that all they know is that there's a man with a scar on his face. And so that creates a negative truth, which is Rob's got a scar on his face. Is he the man they're looking for? I don't know, but it certainly complicates things.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Wolverine wears an eye patch to distract people from the fact that his hair is Wolverine's hair and his face is
Right.
Wolverine's face, and he talks like Wolverine.
And he's 5'2", like Wolverine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm patched. See, I'm wearing an eye patch.
Right. No one can see.
Does he
past
still
the
say
patch.
bub while he's patch?
What you
Probably.
talking about,
Yeah.
bulls?
Bub? Snick bub.
All right, you have treated his injury. You're a few blocks away from the gondola shop, the repair area, and there's certainly fire and smoke that you can see in the air, and you can hear fire trucks coming, and you can see police moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm. We should move.
Oh, you know what, Rob? Before we say you have a scar, please make a brawn plus resilience or will plus resilience test. I'm sorry, brawn plus resilience.
Physical.
D2. Yeah, for a physical scar. This will determine you've gotten your stress back.
Said brawn plus resilience.
Yes, brawn plus resilience.
I would like to use one of those momentum we just got.
All right.
Why?
One success. Okay, so you will end up with a distinctive scarring on your face.
Oh,
Oh, that was just to determine if I had the scar or not?
Yeah, so the first thing is sometimes injuries don't heal properly. If you have suffered an injury, or whenever an injury is removed, which is what Matthew just did to you,
hello.
you must make a brawn plus resilience check or will plus resilience, depending on whether the injury was physical or mental, with a difficulty of whatever the GM sets. Failure on this test means that the injury has some lasting effect called a scar. And so you have a distinctive scarring.
I misunderstood what that roll was for and thought I was not going to lose the injury.
Oh no! You get get that back.
I don't
you're back up
think
to
I would
3
have bothered with the momentum at that point.
Yeah.
Eh.
So here's something to keep in mind about distinctive scarring, and this goes for Valentino as well. When the character is attempting a skill test to move amongst other people unnoticed, or when they attempt a skill test to persuade or manipulate another, the scar may take effect. The player gains a fortune point, and the character's skill test increases its complication range by 3, as if their scars risk drawing unwanted attention. So you do gain a fortune point, which is cool, but the complication range goes up by 3.
Did that put me at 2 or 3 fortune? Because
we don't have any
losing it.
I have you down as 2 fortune right now.
Okay,
but you're not. Yeah. He's not giving you fortune right now.
Not giving you fortune.
I'm not
right
losing.
now. No.
Never mind.
No.
Yeah, he's saying that in a situation where your face might be a face.
If Steven wants to basically throw a monkey wrench into what you're doing by using your scar, he'll give you a fortune,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then throw you under the bus with a monkey wrench,
right?
Excellent.
Got it.
Excellent. Okay, so you guys, you're still bleeding profusely. Bug Eater's face is now sewn up and stopped bleeding profusely, so there's no risk of Bug Eater passing out from blood loss.
You're still bleeding, you're just not actively bleeding forever.
Yeah. And two of you are in bad shape. One of you is perfectly fine, and the other of Matthew's character, Doc, has just some slight injuries.
Yeah. And some fatigue.
You make your way down the narrow alley to the big burly guys who are guarding the entrance to the resistance. And one of them is like, oh my God. He just can't stand blood and starts vomiting profusely. Hey, you better get inside quick before this guy passes out. And you guys enter, you go up the stairs. And when you knock on the door and enter the main resistance area, everyone is really surprised, first of all, that you're all alive.
Well, we're not all alive, though.
I mean, you're all alive, but...
we lost Newman.
Oh, right. Oh, is that the first thing you spout out? Oh, we're all alive except for Newman. One person in the corner, you just see a tear start running down his face. He was my favorite. But then everyone immediately starts taking action and grabbing Blisco and Valentino and dragging you to some makeshift cots in the corner where they start bandaging you up as quickly as they can. They have a few medical supplies. They're able to stop the bleeding, but it's going to be a little bit of time before you are able to recover your full health.
Fair enough.
So, what has happened? We have lost Newman? This is Marshall Desmond saying this.
Yes, we lost Newman.
What happened?
Well, we came into contact with that shadow dog.
The demon dog, yes.
Yes, it got Newman before we could get in there and help him.
This is so sad to hear. And he gives himself the sign of the cross. Newman will be missed. We now need a new Newman.
Brave guy.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Had it not been for Newman, we might not have succeeded.
Well, then we shall sing songs about Newman and hopefully write him down into the history as one of the great resistance fighters, like me, Marshall. Uh-huh. So, The demon dog is dead?
Yes.
And then woman who's been bandaging up Blisco stands up. It's the same woman that you saw come in the other night when she came in to tell everyone that the demon dog is magic, gets its powers from magic. It is gone for now, but I fear that that they will summon another demon dog in the next few days. We must act quickly.
Well, and that was something that I wanted to bring up is, do we know for sure that there isn't more than one demon dog?
We understand that there's a demon dog on loan from the Germans.
I mean, that explains it. The handler of the dog seemed to have a German accent.
Yes. So our understanding is the demon dog can be summoned anywhere there's a handler. Mm-hmm. And since there is no more demon dog for now, and no handler here now, we should be good for a few days until a replacement handler is found and a new demon dog can be summoned from wherever they summon them from. I suspect, and he leans in close, from hell.
Yep, that tracks.
So we only have a few days before we need to blow up the factory and give you the chance to get into the glass museum. The sooner we act, though, the better.
Works for us. Although, just a little time so that these two can heal up a little.
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Plus, we need to have our explosives man work on some explosives so we can blow up the factory with a big kaboom. And he's got his hands out holding a big package of kaboom.
Right.
So, your men, how long will it take for them to be effective?
According to my careful prosthesis. No, wait. Do I have an idea of that?
That word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Do I have an idea of that, Stephen? Is that something that
they're going to need at least a day to fully heal, and for everybody to heal, and that includes you.
Yeah. We will. I think a day. We'll need a day at least, but I think a day will take care of most of us.
Marcos, and a man pops his head up behind a workbench, and he's got this crazy, bushy, wiry mustache that shoots straight out from the side of his face. And he's basically bald, but his hair the little hair that he does have sticks up everywhere. And he's got these big, thick safety goggles on his face. Yes, boss. When will the big kaboom be ready? And he looks around and looks down at the table. About a day, boss. It's a good day to heal your men. A day to make the big kaboom. And we strike in 24 hours. Everyone set your watches now. And you hear everybody kind of look around like, okay, the one or two people that have watches set their watches. Everyone else is just kind of touches their wrist. And then that's it. They have no watches. Certainly no wrist watches, but certainly no watches. There's now 24 hours. Is there anything you would like to do in the next 24 hours? You guys can talk amongst yourselves and talk it out.
I feel like there must be some resource somewhere in Venice that we can use to try and replenish a first aid kit, which I now realize, 6 months into the game, is something pretty awesome that we could probably, benefit from given the way that it works. But
we can, I don't know if we want to do this necessarily, but we can basically call up the brigadier and tell him what we're planning to do. Usually we just wait to call him until something has already blown up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we can tell him we killed a demon dog.
That's true. And that's a good reason to bring in Antoine.
Have we pretty much determined as a group in character that Nathaniel's going to be the one doing the spell that Eisenhower gave us?
I guess we hadn't. I am okay with that on account of him being the most magical because the mask won't kill him.
Yes.
I don't know, if there's a role, I don't know what the role is, though.
Yeah.
So, potentially, if we know what the role is, then we can, look at our stats and be like, well, it makes sense that it would be Blisco to do it because he just happens to have the right combination of stats.
Mm-hmm.
If you will look under magic users in the book, it would be you would be a dabbler, and dabbler uses will for all the roles, and then whatever the book is requiring the role to be used.
Doc actually have a focus in occultism at all, or
no?
Okay. I got a pretty good will and a pretty good academia in case that's...
Yeah, I think it would be academia for dabblers. Okay. Let me look here specifically for dabblers. I just passed it. Yeah, academia occultism is a common route in the study of their arcane. Observation or instincts covers much of the human perception beyond the traditional sense, so that could be something that is a skill depending on the type of magic that's being used. An invocation under a persuasion. Resilience is discipline if you have a focus in discipline. And then survival mysticism covers similar ground to occultism, but deals with rites and rituals passed down throughout ancient times. So let's look here. Probably this is going to be academia because a focus on linguistics is important so that you can translate the ancient text.
Well, if we're considering the linguistics, I think in character-wise, I'd be pretty much thinking Dutch.
If you were trying to summon or communicate with spirits, then you would need persuasion. If you're dealing with, resilience could always be a thing that could happen because if a magic backfires, you're going to need some kind of protections from that. Yeah. So probably academia, specifically occultism, but anybody in any kind of a linguistics.
Can I use linguistics to sort of provide some sort of circumstance bonus or
help me out with the pronunciation of the?
Yeah, anybody can always help. So,
we can, we could do that. My will in academia, my will in academia is 11. So if yours is higher, Brian, we can have you be the point person on the spell, and I can just correct you on which K's are pronounced like K's and which K's are pronounced like.
Okay.
What would your will in academia roll out to be, Brian? Would it be higher than 11?
Or 14.
Jumping fish hooks.
Yeah, this kid's smart.
I guess.
Dutch is not actually good at anything. He's just kind of okay at everything.
Dabblers use will to cast spells. So, Rodrigo, if you wanted to assist, you could always do an assist with will and academia. You'd only roll one dice. That would be after Valentino rolls his.
Okay.
And then whatever the target is, right? If it's a D2 or D3 in this case, this might be a little more difficult since you guys have no magical abilities and never tried to perform magic before. Although you did carve those sigils into the iron bars, and they seem to be pretty effective. So probably you're looking at a D2, and then depending on any environmental circumstances, maybe a D3, but no higher than a D3 to cast this particular spell.
Well, we've got some amount of fortune, so comes down to it.
Yes.
That seems like the place to spend it.
Correct. Okay, so it sounds like Brian is your magic guy.
All right, so then I'll probably be spending my time going over that spell and trying to learn and memorize and figure out how to pronunciate and all that stuff.
Okay, and you all should have a copy of the spell. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you want to try to do in the 24 hours? Are you going to try to call the Brigadier? Or are you going to for sure go and look for first aid supplies?
I am for sure going to try.
Yeah, let me call the Brigadier, and it'll be mostly to be like, hey, can you get
Antoine
Dupre.
Yeah. Can we get Antoine in here? I need to talk to him about this demon dog we came up with.
The thing is, when you contact the Brigadier is not around. He had to leave Paris suddenly.
Okay.
Antoine is more than willing to come to where you are at, but it's going to take him at least 2 days to get there.
No. We're not trying to get him over here.
Oh, okay.
Mostly, I just wanted to update the brass on what we were doing and also update the secret brass on what we were doing.
Okay, so Antoine understands your coded messages, and he is all A-okay with that. He is very interested in this demon dog. Can you remember how the demon dog appeared when it first appeared in that fight?
He just materialized from like smoke, right? Kind of a thing, and he wasn't on the leash. He just appeared close to his handler.
Was there anything else that you may have noticed about where it appeared? Did it just suddenly appear in the middle of an open area?
It appered like next to a wall, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Kind of came through the wall, didn't it?
Came through the wall?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Antoine is very interested in all the information that you share with him. He gets very excited the minute that you mention that it came through a flat wall and was in smoke, and that it wasn't attached to the leash. He is very interested in that, and he's going to look into that for you. Dutch, what are you going to do after you get your hands on the orb?
We have talked to, was it the Resistance that said that we were going to have a speedboat?
Yeah, one of the Resistance members mentioned that there was always going to be a speedboat. It's Andretti's speedboat, or his cousin's sister's brother's speedboat.
Right.
Is going to be waiting on this one particular canal that you guys will have access to at any time.
Yeah, so we've secured a speedboat that could get us back to Venice, and then it would just be a question of either taking it to the mainland or taking it to Venice Island, and then getting a flight back, probably back to Paris, so that we can get you the orb. That's our plan right now.
All right, so you do want to come back here. That's probably a good idea, because you have 2 artifacts then, and we might want to consider securing them, perhaps, somewhere.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to be carrying 2 artifacts.
Okay. How's Valentino?
He is fine. He had
that's good. I would hate it if anything happened to him. If he got injured in some way, I would feel awful. I felt so awful when he got the burns on his arm. How is that healing?
It's coming along. Let's just say he's not worried about that today.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so relieved. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Anything that you want us to do while we're here? I mean, this is all the information we had on the dog, but we're probably going to be meeting up with some Italian fascists at some point, and also possibly German agents. I'm guessing that that's where they're getting their guns.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
And then there's also the Italian luminaries that are kicking around.
Yeah, do be careful about them. I think that they're not going to be as welcoming. I think I said that before, that they're probably not going to want to just let the orb go without a fight.
Right.
So to speak. That's not a hint.
I mean, come on.
Okay, then.
It's Chekhov's, like...
Chekhov's Secret Society.
Yeah, Chekhov's Secret Society.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we will hopefully see you when?
Well, we'll be flying out hopefully tomorrow night or early in the morning the next day.
Okay, very good, very good. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, Doc, if you would roll a insight plus medicine, we'll just do a D1 here.
Okay.
That's a 14, it looks like.
Yep.
We're rolling to see if you could find places where you might be able to gather stuff for your first aid kit.
So D1 is the difficulty. I'm still rolling 2 dice.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1 success.
Very good. You are able to find various pharmacies in the area that will have supplies. What supplies are you going to put in your first aid kit?
Let's see what goes in a first aid kit. Some sort of adhesive for gluing things shut or like sealing things.
Gauze.
Bandages, some gauze.
Gauzes and bandages. Okay, so you've got gauze and bandages.
Yep. Probably disinfectant if they have it.
Some Mercurochrome.
Yeah. What year is it? It's 1939. It's probably...
it's going to be a big old bottle of iodine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to get some of the cough syrup that has codeine, heroin, and Dr. Pepper. Whatever that stuff is.
Would you need cough syrup in a first aid kit?
Well, the codeine and the heroin are the big clues. It's like a...
As an analgesic?
Yeah, like painkillers. Actually, that's probably a good idea. Is there some sort of over-the-counter painkiller or something that we can use in case? Yeah,
they have bear aspirin at this point in time.
With a capital A because it was still in there. Got it. Let's see.
Get some acetaminophen too, because aspirin thins your blood.
Some sort of sutures that I could use, like if we get another injury.
Okay, so you would have to go to like a sewing shop to get needle and thread.
Okay.
So it's not. So this stuff is like when you're talking about like I need to sew somebody up. Yeah, this is over the counter stuff, and you're not going to be able to walk into a pharmacy and say, "Yes, I need some medical grade, needle and thread for stitching somebody up." They're not going to have that. So if you're wanting something like that, you would probably need to get a fine, not probably a fine, but a medium coarse wax thread and needle.
Okay, like iodine or mercurochrome, probably. What would we use in the event of a broken bone if we needed to, like, if someone had a broken arm or a damaged thing in their hand, could we use something?
Well, you have gauze, and so the only thing you would need is probably some material from the area to create a splint, like 2 pieces of wood
or a sling, if that's what you need.
Yeah, or a sling. Yeah, you could just use the gauze. You could use the gauze for that.
I probably still have scissors in my kit. Some sort of like, maybe, I don't know if they'd have, the cool things with the safety pins will probably work. Do you know the things that I mean when you roll like a dressing
like
around something?
Just like something those little clips.
Yeah, those would probably didn't exist in 1939, right?
What are you trying to do with these, baby?
Okay, so when you go to the thing, right? And you wrap the dressing around.
Oh no, you would just tie that off. No, you would just tie that off.
All right. I still probably have like a tweezers if I needed to do something. I probably still like. You need a thermometer. I got a rectal thermometer. It's probably is. Like.
You probably don't need.
I don't know what kind of first aid. I don't know what kind of first aid you need where you need a rectal thermometer. But if you were dead set on having a rectal thermometer, then okay.
You don't need like tools that can be reused. You don't need in a first aid kit, right?
Yeah.
So you probably have your own like forceps or speculum or whatever you want. Your own
probably
kit.
Not a speculum, but okay.
Well,
all right, so you have
my bone saw. So I got
No, you don't have a bone saw.
All
You
right,
don't have a
Chris,
bone
don't put your
saw.
feet in the
Listen,
stirrups.
you have a pair of scissors. Listen,
Okay.
here's what you have.
Okay.
You have some bandages, just over-the-counter bandages. You have some gauze. You have some iodine. You've got some cough syrup, aspirin, thread and needle that you got from a sewing shop,
Right.
A pair of scissors that you also got from that sewing shop, and then in your own personal dailies kit, you have some tweezers. And that is enough for your first aid kit. It is a one-use first aid kit.
Okay. So like hydrocortisone. We got any hydrocortisone?
Nope.
All right. So
I've told you everything that is in your first aid kit, and it is a one-use first aid kit.
And there's no chance that I might be able to find twice as much.
Spam the first aid kit? No.
Well, I mean, to have a second one just in case.
Nope, not right now.
Okay, so I filled the first aid kit. I now have a first aid kit. And at some point, we can utilize that first aid kit.
To generate momentum, yes.
To gain 3 bonus momentum out of the blue. It's going to be beautiful. Everybody's going to love it.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to learn how to
Although you have to use the first aid kit, that can only happen after one of us gets injured.
Which is
why I was suggesting
episode.
Yeah, which is what I was suggesting, just like cheesing it and just like
bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, like just bonking Blisco's head against the wall a couple times. It's like speedrunners.
Yep.
Actum Cthulhu any percent.
Blisco, someone eventually gives you a mirror, and you see that you've got this, that your face is kind of stitched up. What are your thoughts on having a scar that runs kind of right underneath your eye, back towards your ear? It's about 4 inches long.
When Blisco finally actually takes a good look at this scar, there'll be a couple of choice curses in Polish and a praising of something along the lines of "Mama's not going to like this."
Okay. Some time has passed, and Valentino, you are able to wake up after sleeping off a lot of this. A lot of your injuries. Any reactions to events that you've heard over after the fight or anything?
Oh, Antoine says hi, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah, okay. How's things back at Section M?
Sounds like the Brigadier had to leave Paris in a hurry, so something's going on somewhere. But that's all I got out of it.
Interesting. Well, maybe something to worry about once we're done here. So I suppose we better get a good look at what Eisenhower gave us to go over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get to brushing up on that. Maybe if you can help me out with some of these interesting words.
Yeah, this is like, I would place it as some sort of Proto-Greek.
Interesting. Oh,
it's definitely a language that you have never seen before, but maybe ancient Greek, ancient Roman, maybe a little bit of that in there. You can tell that this is a very almost guttural language. So you can make out like this one phrase that is an N with an apostrophe and a GHFT. It'd be like,
right.
And
like the GHs are like,
yeah,
is that what we're going for?
It's very much like you're trying to talk through your nasal cavity.
Mm-hmm. And I will point out to Valentino while we're there, like, hey, you recognize this guy? And I'll point at Yog Sothoth.
Yeah, isn't that kind of what the...
Yeah, that's what the that's what the Shoggoths say.
So for listeners, there are 4 lines of stuff in a language that has probably never been spoken in 1,000 years, or at least 500 years. There are 4 lines of English words, and then 4 lines or 2 lines of ancient text and then 2 more lines of English text. This was provided to them by General Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see because you're going to have to say this in its entirety without interruption and hope that you get the pronunciations correct. But it's definitely, how about Rodrigo and Brian roll me a will plus resilience? We'll do a D1 on this to see if there's anything spooky about this spell that sets you guys off.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about is that we'll, like, by going over it, we'll, like, accidentally cast it.
I'm just worried that if more than one of you... will plus resilience. I'm just more worried that if more than one of you recite the phrase, because this is all just gobbledygook, I'm afraid it'll actually trigger something, so...
I got 3 momentum right now.
So, like...
1 momentum. There's 1 momentum.
No, we'll just see how this goes. This is...
D1, right?
Yeah, D1.
Okay. Oh, hey!
All right, Rodrigo and Brian both get 2 successes, and so that adds 2 more back into your pool, so your momentum count is now up to 3. Yeah, you don't feel like... There's nothing about this that creeps you guys out.
Do we notice anything happening, like candles flickering or like...
No. No. Do you guys still have 1 or 2 of those staves, the metal rods with you?
Yeah.
You do notice that there is like a spark of green that shoots off of one of them.
Well.
But it's you really have to be paying attention to that.
Yep. At least Dutch will turn to Valentino and say, well, we know it's live.
It's good.
Yeah. So yeah, here, I think you're getting caught up here. If you break it up, if instead of going through the apostrophe and then to the next word, just stop at the apostrophe and then pronounce the next 2 syllables like they're just one thing, I think that's gonna make it easier on the fly. And we'll see. Dutch will transcribe the spell and then make notes to be pronounce like this is like this is like I think this this is like a I don't know. Like it's not like go, it's like g. And it's not like this is like a long E, this is like a Y.
Okay.
You think you got it there, Valentino?
I think I got enough to try.
All right, the sun is setting on the last day. 24 hours is almost up. Is there anything else?
I will double check that the speedboat is I'll ask
actually there
if it's ready to go.
Hey, you don't trust Andretti? After we shared drinks, and you don't trust me that the boat is going to be there? Andretti is so insulted.
Are you, though?
No, you're a good boy.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Anyone who buys a lot of drinks for Andretti is my friend for life.
Yeah, we, we're ex-military, so we're just checking all our boxes. I didn't mean anything by it.
Yes. Of course, it's there waiting. I've told Blisco where the stuff is at.
Okay, I'll also check on how Blisco's doing. If he's not
He's certainly looking in that mirror awfully hard.
Yeah. Hey, you all right there, Blisco?
I think I will be.
Okay. Well, it looks good. Plus, now if you're driving with the top down, it's probably more aerodynamic.
Fair.
An inch to the left and you would have lost the eye completely. You should consider yourself very fortunate that someone up there is looking out for you.
Yeah.
He is a very good man. Or as I like to say, he's a good GM. Hey, Eureka! And the man pops up from behind his bench. The bigger kaboom is ready. Then we're going to go tonight. We're going to blow up that factory, cause a distraction while you break into that museum and you get what you came for.
All right.
Is there anything that you need from us?
assuming that we've gotten all the our ammo replenished and stuff, no. Although a ride there, I guess, would be good because we're probably going to go after the boats stop.
Sure. So, you have a Lee Enfield rifle. You have an M12 shotgun. You have, 2 grenades left? Or did everybody use their grenades?
I have mine left. I did not use mine.
I'm reasonably certain Matthew's the only one who threw a grenade.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one who grenaded.
You all have your handguns.
Mm-hmm.
Blisco is going to take a faux seeker into the museum. Okay. Blisco, please give me a will plus resilience check. D1.
That tracks.
Oh, please take 1 point of mental stress.
So that should be my only stress at this point, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone can refill their stress tracks. Or clear their stress tracks.
Okay. Can I clear my fatigue?
You did a lot of running around. So, no,
Okay.
You cannot. You did not lay down and rest like Blisco and Valentino did.
Yep.
So
But I
Doc
could
still
clear
has
my-
a fatigue.
my stress.
What does that do?
It
Fatigue.
lowers his total stress amount.
Yeah, fatigue basically takes up
right.
space. Yeah.
Okay,
So instead of having a total of 10 stress, I only have 9.
gotcha.
I could be melted in battle. It'd be terrible.
I mean, you could. But yeah, there's something about this, Blisco. Something doesn't feel right in your head. You can't put a finger on it, but you have wandering thoughts. All right. And everybody steps out from cubbies and their desks and their bunkers or wherever they're at. Everybody is all dressed in black. The sun has gone down. Marshall Nesbitt comes up and he goes, "We are ready. Come. And the music swells up and you all sneak downstairs. I don't know why you need to sneak. You're in your resistance headquarters. The 2 guys are standing outside the door. You wander around. You make your way through the little alley down to the canal. Everyone gets into some very dark boats and you motor across to Murano from Venice Island. It's dark now. It is cold. It is very cold. There is a mist drifting up from the bay, from the lagoon. So this creates an even eerier atmosphere as you motorboat across to Murano Island. They go ahead and take you a little ways up the canal and drop you near about a block or 2 away from the Glass Museum. And then the 2 boats turn around and speed off down the canal, back out into the lagoon and off towards where the boat is docked and unloading its wares into the warehouse. Hence the name Warehouse.
Warehouse. What does a speedboat look like in 1930?
Like a speedboat.
Pointy.
Yeah, like what's
Their
it made
design
of?
hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot for.
Because I'm picturing, the Miami Vice speedboats that are like all
It's not a cigarette boat, but
fiberglass.
think of that as smaller. No fiberglass at this time. It would be all wood.
Yeah.
At this time.
Oh, like the Indiana
Nice polished
Jones
wood.
ones
Yeah.
from the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you now.
Yes.
Because I'm like speedboats in my head are just anachronistic enough to confuse me.
Yes.
Now I'm with you. I'm with you.
All of these, only one motor engines. And it's not like if anybody really wanted to stop and stare at the boats, they would probably go, "Why are those people all dressed in black?" But motorboats, even in the canal areas, it's not like they're speeding through and causing a lot of wake or waves. They're not calling attention to themselves. So most people are not going to pay any attention to a motorboat. You guys have been riding motorboats back and forth between Murano and Venice Island and the mainland since you arrived. And so this is a very common occurrence. You guys are dropped off on a area that is there's no population. In fact, you can see the boat that Andretti said was waiting for you, just docked about three places ahead. And you're about a block from the museum.
Nice. Let's get close to the museum. And then when we hear the commotion, we'll go for it.
Sure. The museum is closed. It's dark. The festival is still, it's starting to wind down. People have kind of wandered away from the festival for the night. Everyone is closing up shop and going on their way. Some people are going back to the mainland. Some people are going back to Venice Island. Some people are wandering into the housing areas in Murano. Some of them, you see at least one sign in a shop window that says "No Canadians." And, you are in the main lawn space area of the museum, and it's definitely closed. You see the lights going off. There's still a help wanted sign in the window, but it looks relatively deserted.
We're going to break in first. We'll wait for commotion from the warehouse, and then we'll break in.
Okay. Are you close to the building? Far away from the building? What's the?
I guess we'll be just outside of the square, like of the lawn.
Sure. All right.
Like just up
you're kind of waiting.
Like trees or buildings.
Yeah, there's trees.
Or whatever.
Yeah, you're kind of all in the shadows of the trees. People passing by probably wouldn't notice you unless they were really paying attention. There are some street lights on, but most of the shops, the bar or two is open, but most of the shops are closed at this point. The Ferris wheel has finally turned off its lights. The Calliope music is wound down. Boom, 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 boom. And booths are closed. There's no more alcohol sales. Everyone's just kind of wandered away. And then suddenly you hear about a half a mile away a massive explosion, and you see a giant fireball just rise up into the air over the city of Murano.
I think that's our big kaboom.
Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. This week, we didn't have any named NPCs, so no shoutouts to our associate producers this week, but next week, we'll feature a lot of surprises, and more than a few of our wonderful patrons will become NPCs in this game. You want your name to appear as one of these NPCs in future episodes? All you need to do is become an associate producer at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2023 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.